If you find yourself looking for the latest NFL news and rumors, make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. Here at Chat Sports, we do daily videos 100% free, releasing one just about every 3 hours, and we started a little bit early today on live, and I'm excited about it. Normally we go live every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. We got 2 Monday night games, so you know what? We're going to start a little bit early. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, Tom. This could be a team buying at the deadline. According to a report, they're going to be aggressive.
Philadelphia is in a very weird situation, and
Correct.
I think the level of aggressiveness is important in terms of what Philadelphia wants to do. They have been decimated by injuries. We'll talk about Zach Ertz and Miles Sanders here in just a second.
Yep.
If they're trying to do a Golden Tate-esque trade where you trade for a rental at the cost of a draft pick, I think that's a terrible idea.
I agree.
I think if you're going to make a trade and be aggressive, that's fine. But I think you have to find long-term players, not just fill short-term needs, because, you're in the NFC East race because that division sucks right now. You have not been a good football team. You should not be buying rentals.
And you're right there.
You have to take a more long-term view of this organization.
No, and I absolutely agree with that. Let's also now talk about a injury. Miles Sanders, he left Week 6 with a knee injury. Also, he just suffered just tons of injuries in the offseason, especially with I believe it was his hamstring. He's going to miss 1 to 2 weeks, and he's not going to play on Thursday Night Football. We were talking about rentals. I don't think they go out and trade for a running back or do anything crazy like that.
They don't have much depth behind him, though.
But Miles Sanders has probably been the only good player on that offense.
He's been really good for them.
He's been very good.
I mean, sometimes the big plays for Sanders have come on like third down draws because the Eagles don't trust Wentz, and it works out wonderfully for them.
I don't really blame him.
But Sanders has looked the part of a lead back in the NFL. You've got some critical games coming up here for Philadelphia, one against the Dallas Cowboys in a game that could end up having massive, I think will end up having massive impacts on the NFC East race, and Sanders might miss that game. Now, the Thursday night game against the Giants, I think they'll be fine because New York is bad. But you want Sanders back.
They just beat Washington, who beat Philly.
This is a bad Cowboys run defense, so you want Miles Sanders back out there. This is the Cowboys team that has also struggled against tight ends, and now Zach Ertz is hurt Philadelphia as well. He might miss a month.
Yeah, I mean, that injury is going to be out a little bit longer, but the Miles Sanders injury, to me, is a bigger loss because they still have Dallas Goedert, and Dallas Goedert,
who is eligible to return from IR this upcoming week, so maybe he comes back. That'd be a huge boost.
I mean, you can make the argument that right now Dallas Goedert is better than Zach Ertz.
He was playing really well before he went down.
Agreed. So this is the NFC least. Who the heck is going to win it? Can we type nobody? Can nobody win this division? Let me know. C for Cowboys, W for Washington, G for Giants, E for Eagles. I mean, I guess I'm going to type Cowboys. I'm going to have a little bit of faith in Andy Dalton. What says you, Tom? And let us know in the comments section, y'all.
I mean, I think it really comes down to the two teams on the left there, Cowboys or Philadelphia. I think I might go Dallas because this Eagles team just cannot stay healthy, and that might end up sinking them in a very gettable division this year.
All right, so y'all, the NFL trade deadline is November 3rd. You're going to have buyers and you're going to have some sellers. The Houston Texans, according to reports, they're going to start selling. And I don't really blame them. It's been a rough season. Yes, they've had some difficult opponents. Just had a very tough 42-36 loss in overtime to the Tennessee Titans. But they have no first-round pick. No second-round pick next year. And according to Jason La Confora, he mentioned 5 names that they could potentially move on from. Here they are. Brandin Cooks, Will Fuller, Zach Cunningham, Whitney Mercilus, and then Darren Fells. Out of the 5 names that I see up there, the name that I think should get moved is potentially Will Fuller. The other name you could throw out there is Kenny Stills.
Yeah, I think Stills makes a lot more sense as a trade piece than 2 of these guys up on here, Zach Cunningham and Whitney Mercilus, just got extended. Zach Cunningham got paid by Houston less than 2 months ago.
Yep.
There's no reason, because La Confora sucks, for Cunningham to even be...
That?
Who said that?
Who said
for
that?
Cunningham to be on this list. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Cooks they just traded for.
Yep.
He's kind of had a couple nice bounce-back games.
I agree.
I don't mind Houston selling off assets. Again, they're a bad football team.
I think Jason La Confora tried to take a stab at some players he thought could get traded, and he missed.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
I mean, the most notable name there, I would say, is Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills makes perfect sense because he's not going to be a long-term piece for this Houston team.
Yep.
He's on a 1-year deal, so it's either pay him or lose him in free agency. Getting an asset back now, probably makes the most sense for Houston.
So Chat Sports, we are an interactive YouTube channel, and I don't want your participation. I demand your participation. So let us know in the comments here who your favorite NFL team is. Start shouting them out. Got some Cardinals. I see Devin's a Raiders fan. A lot of Cowboys fans now starting to flow in. So shout out who your favorite NFL team is, and now that I can see who your favorite team is, let me know. Should your team be buyers or sellers at the NFL trade deadline on November 3rd, 4 p.m. Eastern Time? Type B for buyers, type S for sellers. Cowboys, buyer or sellers?
They should not be buyers. Maybe they're stand patters, but if
Raiders,
if
buyers or sellers?
They might be buyers, actually.
Tennessee Titans.
Buyers.
Cool. All right, let's keep it moving here with the Tennessee Titans. And Ryan Tannehill, he deserves to be in the MVP discussion.
Yeah,
I was listening to ESPN, and they were talking about an overreaction Monday, and their overreaction Monday was Tannehill in that discussion. I don't think it's an overreaction. I'm sorry. He's been spectacular.
I mean, I think when you go most valuable player, again, you're talking about value, you're talking about impact, talking about tangible results here. Going from Marcus Mariota at quarterback to Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, as good as Derrick Henry has been on his own, who I love and is also probably up for debate for at least Tennessee, their most valuable player.
Agreed.
What Tannehill has done has been incredible.
Yep.
His production, again, 15 starts with Tennessee. These are MVP numbers. I mean, the yards aren't crazy high. And, yeah, he was bad in the playoffs, and we're doing regular season stats here.
Statistically, he was bad.
Yeah.
They still won. I mean, they beat New England, and you beat the Baltimore Ravens.
They didn't even throw the ball. It ended up being fine. Tannehill, I think, is he the front runner? No. But, yes, I think he should at least be in the discussion for the early season NFL MVP.
I mean, the reason why it's tough, because there's this guy, Russell Wilson,
He's still the favorite.
He's still the favorite. They didn't play this past week, and, I mean, he's got 19 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and the reason why I'll put Tannehill in here, you could probably, is it Tannehill or is it Aaron Rodgers now, is a better discussion.
Rodgers come off a bad game.
Yes, he is coming off a very bad game, but I'm curious about what y'all have to say on this one. Who's the NFL MVP so far? Is it Russell Wilson? Type W. That's probably where I would go.
W.
You could type T for Ryan Tannehill. Or if you think it's going to be somebody else, I want you to mention that name in the comments section below. So who's the NFL MVP so far? Wilson, Tannehill, or somebody else? Seahawks news and rumors coming at you here. Trey Flowers. Is it time to end the experiment?
This was the discussion from the Seahawks SB Nation site. I thought it was a good one to engage with because I've never been a big fan of Trey Flowers, and you can go back and look at some early videos, and Seahawks fans are very, very upset
Flowers
with me.
in general are expensive.
That's very true. Now, look, drafted in the 5th round out of Oklahoma State, 2018, they moved him from safety to cornerback, and there were some flashes, some moments of, ooh, the Seahawks might have found their next day 3 pick who ends up being a stud, and he had some success, especially in his earlier bunch of pass breakups, the completion percentage, the yards per target weren't too bad. Even 2019 as well. There was some success with Trey Flowers. The problem is, and it's kind of backed up by the numbers here minus the interceptions, he's headed in the wrong direction, specifically where things really fully fell apart, which I thought was going to be rock bottom, and we'll discuss this year in a second. The playoffs last year for Trey Flowers. 6 catches on 8 targets, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, most of those coming against the Packers. He got absolutely worked over. Now, Quentin Dunbar has been banged up this year. Seattle brought him in, so they did not have to start Trey Flowers. Because of the injuries, Flowers has played a pretty significant amount. And the problem is, it's right there in the completion percentage. When teams throw at Flowers, they complete the pass. 83%, a wildly high figure for Flowers. 1 pass breakup, a touchdown. He has not been very good in coverage this year. And now the question was kind of posed by field goals was, well, what do you do with him? Do you keep him? Do you give up on the experiment? I think in particular for right now, for this season, you're probably better off keeping him because you don't really have many other options, Mitch.
So do you keep him or do you take a dump? Type K for keep, type D for dump.
You don't take a dump in this scenario. You just dump him.
D for dump or K for keep?
Yeah, you said something very inappropriate there, and I had to correct.
You guys want to keep him or take a dump? What should Seattle do with Trey Flowers? Get your votes in here as you're looking at the Seahawks cornerback depth chart.
Look, Griffin, we'll talk more about him, and Dunbar. Ugo Amadi has stepped up decently in the unfortunate absence of Marquise Blair. The reason I go with keep for now, in parentheses or in commas if you want, you have Nico Thorpe and Lyndon Stevens. That's all you've got there in the back end. Your top two guys I actually like quite a bit. Now, Shaquille Griffin has very much been up and down, but he's kind of started to settle down a little bit after a rocky start this year. I like Dunbar a lot. Again, he missed some time, so his volume numbers are a little bit lower than maybe what they could be, but they're clearly your best two cornerback options. In fact, I think it's actually a pretty good debate, Mitch, as to which is actually the best Seahawks corner.
All right, well, let's have that debate here. Quentin Dunbar, Shaquille Griffin, or if you think it's going to be somebody else, throw their name down there below.
I don't know who else you would type as other. I gave it as an option in case the Trey Flowers' parents or something are watching out there. Or maybe you loved what Marquise Blair did in nickel before he ended up getting hurt. It says cornerback only, so of course Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs do not count here. I think I lean Griffin.
I'm going to go Griffin.
But Dunbar has been a good football player for the Seattle Seahawks and back before he was traded by Washington. I lean Griffin, but I think there is a legitimate argument to be made, especially with Griffin's inconsistency this year. Might actually be D.
If you're looking to stay safe, make sure you get yourself an NFL face mask at the link that you see below, chatsports.com/staysafe. We have hundreds of masks for all 32 NFL teams. As you can see, I went out and got myself a face mask.
There you go.
You guys can too. Yeah, at first, it kind of looks like a thong. It's not.
Why would you?
It's not. It's a face mask. Stay safe. Chatsports.com/staysafe. I was actually out at a bar, maybe like, I shouldn't say bar, a restaurant a month ago.
Yeah, you shouldn't say bar.
And I saw a girl take her underwear off and use it as a mask. Don't do that. That's disgusting. Instead,
who do you hang out with?
People from Dallas. They're wild people. Chatsports.com/staysafe. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of this deal. Up to 20% off player mask, packs of 4, 3, and 2.
That link will be in the comments, and it will be in the description as well. So go check it out, chatsports.com/staysafe. Now, Mitch, I will make note here. There's also been some Raiders news and rumors out there. Take it away.
Raider Nation, what's going on? I'm here on NFL Daily. David Irvin. Is he going to the Las Vegas Raiders? This news first came out that he was reinstated on Friday, and my DM started to just fill up, probably a lot more than what I wanted to do on Friday, but he was started to work out with the Raiders on Friday, okay? And the reason why this is being talked about is because obviously the Raiders have a major need at the defensive line. Luckily, Mo Hurst, he is finally back off the COVID list. And Irvin, he was really good with Rod Marinelli. And the fact that we haven't seen it, we know that he is a very talented player. And it makes all Raider fans very excited. He was also working out in Las Vegas for the past, it was like 15 months. But when you look at his last 13 games, yes, I picked out the last 13 because it makes the stats look better. 33 tackles, 13 tackles for a loss, 22 quarterback hits, and 11 sacks. Those are very productive numbers. And one of Irving's biggest problems was, well, he liked weed. That's okay in Vegas. It's legal, so you can go ahead and do it. Now, when you look at the defensive line depth chart, they've really been working in Cleveland Furlong in the middle because Malik Collins has not worked out whatsoever. Jonathan Hankins has been very solid in the run game. Max Crosby's been, well, their only productive player in terms of sacks. But I do want to give a major shout-out to Cleveland Furlong, who I'll say has been the best Raiders defensive line player, getting just 9 pressures, I believe, last week. Arden Key's going to have to take a bigger step up because also Carl Nassib, he's injured, and he's probably going to miss like 2 to 3 weeks with a broken toe. So you could see them potentially go out and find a player on that defensive line like a David Irving. So here are the sack leaders. I mean, this has been an issue for the Raiders for the last 3 seasons. 13 sacks in 2018. That was by far dead last. I mean, the team that was the second worst, they were 29th. Or they had 29 sacks. Nevin Lawson had 1. Chris Smith had 1, and what a great story Chris Smith is. Mo Hurst and Carl Nassib. I mean, y'all, come on. This is not very pretty. That's why Raider Nation is freaking out, and they continue to ask, and we're going to talk about it here. Should the Raiders go out and sign David Irving? I want you to give me a Y for yes. I want you to go ahead and give me an N for no. And if you stumble across this on the Raiders Report channel, hey, let me know. And if you haven't already subscribed to that channel, you see the link below, youtube.com/Raiders Report.